Hey guys, this is Heretic, and in this video I'm going to go over our Fortress Wars from Thursday, March 13th, 2025. But before we go too far into this video, and I've sped it up just ×2, so it's a pretty long video. I'm showing everything, I'm showing our chat, everything that happened in this event. So, you know, for whatever it's worth, you can see how we do things here. Dark Siege was our commander as usual. He's great at this. We had a lot of fun. We did really well. I don't want to give spoilers away, but it was a good event for us. It was a lot of fun. But you can see it from our side if you competed against us. Alright, but before I go too much further, I wanted to mention that we do have a Discord going right now for the channel. And I'm going to leave the link to Discord within the comments of this video. Within the description of this video, actually, not the comments. But take a look at the video and kind of watch how we go through this. I can explain it a little bit as we go. So at the beginning, everybody does the same thing, right? You just go through, you have a commander that tells you which one you take. Don't push too hard. Listen to your commander, don't go outside of that. If you do have like a big spender, and you'll see me doing this not as a big spender, but as a strong castle, probably one of the stronger castles within the whole group here. You could have a few people that they have the speeds and they have the experience, they can kind of go off on their own. And that's okay. What you don't want to have is people following them, and I make that comment in here. If you're following me when I'm just speeding out, then I hope you have tons of speeds available. If not, those last 10 minutes are crucial to Fortress Wars. And you know, the big strategy that most of the people do now is they wait, they bide their time. They take a little bit. They're just doing it to get their points. They're going as a big group to reduce the number of losses that they have, but they're not speeding a lot in the beginning. They're not even reinforcing a lot in the beginning a lot of times, and they're doing that so that they have something left over for the end. And what you'll see here is that a lot of the other alliances that we're up against don't have anything at the end. They're very low. They've already kind of committed to their strategy, and their main accounts are now stuck in castles defending where they didn't really need to. So here at the beginning, again, there's not a whole lot of reinforcing. Anything that we're doing is just trying to get points, to meet our targets. And you can see here I'm boosting up my attack, and I'll continue to do this throughout. Another strategy is don't use those until the very end, and use that as your speeds. So you reach all your target levels. Hopefully everybody in the alliance can reach 10, if not as far as they possibly can, and they should be saving as much as they can. If you don't have speeds, you don't need to spend in this event. I've done this event and not spent at all. No gems, even. And what I would do is use only a little bit to boost up the attack, and then in the last 10 minutes, use all of that on speeds. And just speed through, speed through, speed through. To do this, you would need to save up a lot of heals. And unfortunately, with all the events that I've been kind of going through quickly, I haven't saved a ton of speeds up. I mean, a ton of healing speeds up to this point. I do have quite a few March speeds, as you see as I go through. Another thing you'll want to do is with the target, if you can expand your March, that's always a good thing, especially if you're going to be the person like me, just speeding through and smacking down as much as you can. So having heals, having some March speeds when you go into the battle is a good thing. And so again, I don't really care about the castles that I'm holding at this point. What I care about is that people are getting their phase targets. They're getting merit that's going to help them in the long run, and they're also getting points that they can use now on speeds and on upgrades for their tech for this event to be used later on. And you can see our commander, he is saying which castle to attack and when to attack, like when everybody should go, so that we're going together. There's at certain points he'll say, defend this, and only 5 go, or only 10 go. So you see that by and large we move as a pretty big group. You should watch for people who are speeding for these easy wins, because they're wasting their speeds and they're thinking that they're getting extra points or whatever. That's a bad way to work. And so what you can do is, and what you will see me do, is you take a castle. Someone needs to come back with a one army march and just hold that castle for you. You want to save your good troops, the majority of your troops, for your big battles, and see what you will see from the alliances that we face is that they're going to make a move that's going to force them to hold. And when you're forced to hold a certain castle with your mains, when you're worried about losing it because that's the majority of your points, then what happens is you're missing out on all of your good troops and you start losing all of your other castles. And so what we're doing is we've elected to not take the very center of the map. And you'll see that. And we'll send enough fake marches into the middle that the purple team here can't actually keep their they can't move off of the center. They've got to keep holding it. And here they go. They're trying to hold that right there, that tile right there, that castle. We're not really too worried about that. When we want to take it, we know we can. So a lot of alliances will focus on the points that you get from taking the very center, and then that traps them into this pattern of being unable to hold anything else. But here we go. I'll make attacks where I don't really think that we'll win. I really don't care about winning it. I have the heals here to recover quickly, but you see them taking the center right there. And this is where they kind of mess up. Right now, our main focus is to take as many of the D castles as we can without using our speeds, without putting ourselves into a hole where we can't heal later on, which happens all the time. If you go all out in the very beginning, chances are at the end you're not going to have any heals left, and it's going to be very tough for you to hold it. So you can see that castle that they took before, now we've decided let's go ahead and take that. Since they're focused in the center, let's go ahead and take that. And so we send a lot of people over, and of course we win that. And a lot of our team right there just got a ton of points to use to buff their troops and to save for speeds later on. So what I would say, one of the good strategies here is around the center you have corners. You should take everything all the way around if you can, but especially those corners, because without the corners no one can get to the other one. So you don't have to, if you do like a cross from the center, you don't have to really put any defense into that once you take the corners, because there's no way your opponents can get to those. So it frees you up a little bit. And then when you take the corners, don't sit there and hold it. Pull people back. Even the center, really. If you could take enough of the rest of the castles around. See, the problem with the center is now you have 8 opportunities for your opponent to hit you. Whereas if you have the corners, then no one can hit, you reduce the amount of defending that you have to do while getting more points, right? In the end, the points are what matter. And right here, we're not winning. We're not the leader here. The purple team is the leader. The SOL team. And they've pushed back some of the other alliances, but again, they're going to have to focus on holding the center, and they're going to lose a lot. And you'll see that. And that's kind of what you see all the way through this event, is that team made the decision of taking the center. They don't have a ton. Like if you have 80, 90 people playing on your team for this event, it opens you up to a lot more. You could take the center, and you could probably take all of the castles, the D castles around the center. And at that point, you just sit back and win. But if you're in the 30, 40, 50 player, participation in the event, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to do that. Because while we can just kind of pull back and watch, let them, we could take all of the D castles and then just sit back and defend whenever they're attacked. And it gives us a pretty big advantage. But you see that we're starting to take the D castles all the way around. You can see SOL start to lose castles. Just watch the right hand side, and you can see from the map what they hold and where they're losing. And now I'm gonna throw an attack into the middle in a minute, and it's just to keep them on their toes. If they think that we're really gonna attack the center, then they're gonna have to send more help over there while we're attacking the other castles. And so I'll do that a lot. I'll go out and I'll attack and have the enemy focus in an area that the rest of our alliance is not focused in. But we'll take B and C castles from other alliances and leave them undefended completely, and just have them as a barrier to reaching the center. But here now we're leading in the event, and we have the majority of the castles here, and really we're just playing towards that for that last 5-10 minutes. We're at about the halfway mark right now, a little bit over halfway. But you can see it's going pretty well for us, honestly. We have a bit of an advantage because my castle is tier 12, and I don't think any other castle in this event is tier 12. There's some strong T11s though, with some good tech. But you can see we're just going down the line, taking as many of the D castles as we can, and as we get closer to the end, we'll take more and more and more. Here's our fake attack towards the center, and they're having to jump in there and help. And I've used all of the heals that I came with at this point. So now anything I'm going to go for is going to be using gems. Any healing that I do from now on is gems. And this is where I let people know, if you follow me as I'm running around crazy, then I just expect you to have a ton of gems available. Yeah, part of this is you have to hold people accountable here. You can't have people running off on their own if you know that in the end they're going to be out of steam and they're not going to be able to help. They're going to be out of troops, they're going to be out of speeds, and when we need them, they're going to just be sad. So I'm just testing the defenses, and I'm able to take castles unless they really defend them. Should be able to take most of the D castles. And this is basically, you want to look and see when your enemy is in another battle. A lot of times a good strategy is if you see a big group of the enemy attacking one of your castles, let them take it. Don't defend it at all. Wait for them to bounce off of that and then go in with the big group. Like, wait for them to have, when you start seeing their marches bounce off of it because they've filled it or they're going back so that they can attack another castle, and you see them slowly roll off of that, speed in. Or don't speed in, sorry, don't speed in. Go in as a big group and take it, and then you have it back. So you lose a lot less that way, and you're making them waste their speeds. And if they want to defend it at that point, that's fine. You're going in with the big group. You're going in calm. You're not reinforcing in big waves. But right now, we're just trying to take all the castles around, or as many of them as we can, and also to give ourselves a little bit of buffer without burning through all of our speeds, without burning through all of our heals. So you see them coming in, but we have a pretty good defense set up on that castle. So you see the orange team coming in. And we've won it. And now we're just kind of pushing around little by little. For the most part, we're ignoring the center. They have to have a lot of troops on it to defend it. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. They're losing right now. The best thing that they could do at that point is to pull back the majority of the main marches that they have in the center and maybe send smaller marches to it, or just be prepared to all come in and defend it if someone attacks it. But yeah, they don't do that. We constantly spy that or scout that center castle, and we see that they have 28, 29 players on it. So there's no reason for us to even worry about it. And while they do that, we'll just take the rest of their castles, or push them back far enough that we don't have to worry about them as far as challenging us for top spot. And I really don't even look at the rankings. I didn't even notice. Usually there's a banner that comes across the top that tells where people are, like which alliance is leading, number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't even look at that. I don't care about the individual either. Just play it. If you play it right and follow the process and trust the process, then you're going to come out on top. You're going to do well. Also in these events, if you're going up against a group that you know you can't beat, like you go in and they're all T12, T13s, and you don't have that, you see them all speeding, cut your losses. Don't spend your gems, don't spend your healing speed ups. Just take the loss, honestly. Save your gems, save your healing speed ups and your march speeds and all of that. Save it for another day, another event. Don't waste. I've been in that situation before where I know we're gonna lose, but I just keep going and going and going. And at the end of the day, that hurts me for the next event where my heals and my speed ups would have helped a lot more. But you can see here, we're just kind of expanding as we go. We end up taking all of the castles around the center, and we do a pretty good job of holding those while we expand out into other areas as well. One of the things is you have, when you do that and you create a buffer, then the other alliances are not only fighting you, but they're fighting each other all the way through. And when they do this, it gives you, even more a chance to win, because they're blowing all of their speeds, they're blowing all of their heals just to get to that buffer castle or over that buffer castle, right? You see the yellow alliance and the blue alliance fighting a lot, and the pink alliance fighting, and now against the purple as well. And so they're all expanding, trying to get at least second place and maybe first. You see the blue team take one of our corners. That's fine, we'll go in and take it back. But at the same time, they're having to fight off the yellow team, which makes it harder on them. But here we took off. Now we have the full corners around. I think we have one castle open on the side, but we have all the corners, which is where you should focus. But yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope you get something out of it. If you do have any questions or concerns, come to Discord. Leave a comment on the video. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Put a like. But also come to the Discord, and we freely talk, open talk about War and Order and strategies and things that you can do to be better. But hey, one thing that I should always be doing here, and I recommend, is that you go in and you set your marches, so you don't have to tool with the march there every single time. Even if during the event, if you're not speeding around like I am, being crazy, but during the event, if you raise your march capacity with the buffs that you get, with the points that you get within the event, go ahead and go in and set your march for that, your actual formation to match what you have now, so you don't have to use the slider at all. It'll make it a lot easier if you can just press 1 and go. But you'll see me do that quite a bit, where I'm just having to use the slider to get through. But again, I'm speeding most of this. I'm gonna end up using all my marches. So some of them are just to reinforce a corner. Some of them are just to go in and help against, for another fight. The purple team realizes that they're going to lose here, and so they're just trying to take other castles. We're down to the very wire right now, the very, very end, and it's basically over for them now at this point. Everybody's trying to get in the last few minutes, and this is where people would go crazy. And that's okay. If we lose a couple castles here, it's not a big deal. You can see the blue team took a couple of the D castles from us. We have the rest. And we're just kind of riding this to the end. Just kind of stalling as much as we can, because we know we have it in the bag. But there we go. That's it. Number 1. Pretty good. Pretty easy. Get some really good rewards here. I love the rewards in this event. It's awesome. I ended up with number 1 in individual as well. It's not what I'm after there. I'd rather win all of our Fortress Wars than get any merit personally. I like the name on the board, which we were able to get in 1567. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get something out of it, and leave a comment, and see you in Discord. Alright, take care.